Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show, Red Pill Edition. My name is Leon Jones, and during this segment, I'm going to talk about something that could have been mentioned at the Manosphere Meetup if I had spoken. So what I'm going to do is take a moment and talk about through my PowerPoints that I made that I was supposed to use during the meetup. Now, again, the meetup was very productive. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. But was it something that continues to bring out the nostalgia, like-minded brothers? Absolutely. And again, shout out to brother Theo. Shout out to little big Nate. Now, Theo turned it up with his IT. Now, what I'm going to do with you tonight is I'm going to talk about getting into skilled trades. Now, it is very important that you understand skilled trades. Why? Because for the most part, during my experience when it comes to working, and particularly you black men need to hear this, most of the individuals in the corporate world are white women, black women, and white men. Black men do more of the labor jobs. Now, there's a school out here, many of you have heard of it, called Universal Technical Institute, UTI. Now, I'm going to present some information from them. Now, you're talking about real networking? You're going to get it from me tonight, from this school. Not everybody has heard of it, but I'm going to basically bring you some of the trade skills that they offer, and you don't need a college degree. Now, are you going to have to obtain some type of aid if you don't have it? Certainly. Now, when we talk about skilled trades, let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Again, here in this PowerPoint, I'm going to talk about skilled trades that are in demand. This PowerPoint is by me, Leon Edward Jones Jr., my government name. But I just want to call this out because for the most part, for me, I'm not going to sit on YouTube and talk about women all day. Okay. Women are the least of my concerns. Not that they're not beautiful or anything. My concern is keeping men productive. So, what I'm going to call this video is the Manosphere Meetup was productive. The Manosphere Meetup was productive. Now, I'm going to add some production to it by giving men a source so they can get a skilled job. Now, when it comes to skilled jobs or skilled trades, they do require some specialized knowledge. Now, the good thing about a skilled job, you don't have to have long-term schooling. Basically, the experience is learned at a technical school. You can utilize an apprenticeship. There's OJT, which is on-the-job training, or a combination of both of them put together. And the combination that I'm talking about is OJT and an apprenticeship through a union. Now, the good thing about these jobs is they don't require a 4-year college degree. Now, the reason why that's important, because if you go to college, the cost of college is unbearable. Some of you can go to school even for a STEM major, and you will come out owing a lot of debt. So, in other words, you don't get a great return on investment. And with a skilled trade, it is much easier for you to get into a business. Now, how to best get into skilled trade jobs, or how to get into the best trades? Well, there are some requirements that you need to understand. First of all, high school diploma. Most trades require that you have a GED or a high school diploma. When it comes to some education as well, a trade will require some education. Instruction usually includes classes at a technical school or a community college. Now, I live here in Indiana, and there is only one community college in Indiana. And the name of the community college is a great system. It's a state system. It's Ivy Tech Community College. If you're in other states, there are also community colleges. There are also trade schools as well. Now, getting into a trade, you're going to have some training. Just like I mentioned before, you're going to have apprenticeships. You're going to have on-the-job training. So the best trade careers that you're going to have are going to require some necessary training. Also, you're going to get rewarded for your training through a diploma, a certification, or some other specialization, because the documentation will verify your expertise, and it will also help you gain new opportunities to reach higher salaries. Now, in this discussion that I'm going to do, most of the skilled jobs are transportation types of jobs. And the transportation jobs are technicians, motorcycle mechanics, auto mechanics, diesel mechanics. Those are good jobs. They're in demand. And if you want to get a quick way to six figures, this is it. And I'm saying this because you don't necessarily have to have a degree in STEM. I know everybody is pushing STEM. I like STEM. I have a degree in STEM as well. But if you go the engineering route when it comes to STEM, yes, you have to take 4 years worth of college, gain some experience. You have to take the FE examination. Then you have to take the PE. Well, with skilled jobs, you don't have to do that. Now, some of them that I'm going to tell you about first, and this has all been researched by me, the diesel technician. And for the most part, there are close to 30,000 openings annually. So when it comes to diesel engines, we all know what they are. They're very powerful. They're important engines that deliver power to a range of vehicles, and they're also used in a variety of other applications. Again, when we talk about diesel engines, they're very powerful. Trucks use diesel engines. Buses use diesel engines. Trains use diesel engines. And they're also used in other applications such as generators. Now, if you go to UTI, they have a diesel technology program, and it can help graduates work in a range of settings from repair shops to dealerships. Yes, the cost in the short term to a technical school can be rather high. Here's how you cut that in half. Go to a community college, see if they're offering something in diesel mechanics. Again, what I'm bringing you is information that is in the transportation sector, because of course there's the construction side where you have your HVAC, you have your carpenters, you have your welders, you have your laborers, and you can get into construction management construction supervision, such as a foreman. But right now, I'm just giving you an overview of some skilled labor jobs that are in demand. Next, everybody drives a car, correct? Well, I'm going to say that, and let me correct something here. All right. I had hose up there, HOSE. It's supposed to be those, so I made the correction right on the screen. So the next skill job I'm utilizing is an automotive technician. And you're talking about a skill that's always in demand. You can get ASE certified. These are the guys that are needed to maintain and repair all kinds of vehicles. And if you go to any technical school, they can help you prepare for entry level positions. Now, again, it's projected that there are going to be more than 68,000 estimated jobs for automotive technicians. Now, when you go into that type of field, there's numerous opportunities. You can work at Jiffy Lube as a technician. You can work at Firestone. You can even work at some of these big trucking facilities. Nevertheless, if you get into this field and you get your certifications, you're talking about an avenue to six figures. This is it. And you don't even need a lot of people to work for you to work on cars. You don't need a college degree. Now, again, the school that I have attended here in Indiana offers that kind of program. So if you live in Indiana, if you can't afford a UTI or a Lincoln Technical Institute, go to Ivy Tech. And I'm going to tell you this, if you do, you'll be happy that you did. Welders. Now, I like construction, and I've been out on many construction sites, and I've seen a lot of welders. There's arc welds, there's fillet welds. Now, again, when you're welding, you're basically putting two parts together with heat and pressure, or a combination of the two. Now, welding is used in a variety of industries. And right now, there are estimated 49 or 50,000 that are going to be needed in this field. So you need to become very familiar with several types of welding, from gas metal arc welding to flux cord arc welding. Now, again, this video that I'm doing is not going to be the drama type. If you want networking, I'm here to give it to you. Watch this video. If you want to go to UTI, give them a call. But I'm just giving you an overview on where you can go, because what I'm going to say when it comes to black men, a lot of us are told we're broke, we can't get jobs, we have no ambition. Well, not everybody's going to be a civil engineer like me. Not everybody's going to be in IT like Theo. We need individuals who are going to get down and dirty and do the skilled labor jobs. Now, something, and this wasn't said over in the Manosphere Meetup, but I'm going to say it now. Skilled professions are not outsourceable. Now, you have accounting, that can be outsourced, but it's going to stay here. You have some of your IT, that can be outsourced. All you have to do when it comes to skilled labor, get your education, experience, and a certification. Now, again, talking about mechanics. be a motorcycle mechanic. And the good thing about this type of profession, you get to troubleshoot electrical systems. You get to see what's wrong with the engine. You are actually a problem solver, but you're utilizing your hands, just like a diesel mechanic, just like an automotive mechanic. You know, in the long run, this is work that you're going to be proud of. And once you get your experience, your certifications, you can open up a business. Collision repair technicians. Now, why is this important? Because how many people get in accidents every day? In fact, Brother Nate does insurance on collision repair. So when we deal with collision repair, we're dealing with auto body and related repairs so vehicles can be restored. Now, positions will be opening to those interested in making this kind of body repair to vehicles, okay? So, created in conjunction with ICAR, the collision repair and refinish technology known as CRRT. Now, this program is at UTI, is going to provide students with repair skills that they need as defined by the industry. Now, again, you need to get certifications. And if you're serious about learning a skilled trade, this is something that's going to build your pride. Again, most of us have been told we have to sit up in the office, we have to wear a suit all day, a tie all day. We have to be in front of whiny coworkers in an office filled with snitches and politics and non-productive people. Because I'm going to say this about the corporate world, and I've worked in it. A number of individuals are non-productive. They have their little furry titles, but in the end, they're very insecure people because they want to feel like they've accomplished something, not through production, but through their title. Now, when you get into skilled trades, you're actually using your problem solving skills and you're actually using your hands. And this is basically the same as if you were going to go into STEM and major in engineering technology. You're taking engineering and you're applying principles that the engineer gives you by creating a design that could work, it may not work, but you are a problem solver. But again, collision repair technicians, their jobs in the future, and I'm gonna get more into these skilled trades because for the most part, a number of people look down on skilled trades. I mean, I remember my dad laid bricks. I tried laying bricks. I have been out in the field looking through what we call a transit for surveying. I was the one out there holding the rod, banging the hubs, setting the pins for property lines. I was the guy who held zero. We call that the dumb end. That's a skilled trade as well, but you got to be licensed as a surveyor. But never again will I deal with anybody who's going to look down on the skilled trades, because there are a lot of white collar persons who need the skilled trades. Being a plumber, an HVAC technician, even an equipment operator. Those jobs are going to make you a lot of money. I mean, you had the fringe benefits plus the wage. Some of those skilled, I don't want to call them skilled labor, but some of those skilled trades actually make more than some STEM fields. I can tell you this right now. In the construction industry, if you're a construction manager, you can actually make more than a civil engineer. In fact, I will say this about civil engineering. I love it, but civil engineering is one of the lowest paid disciplines of engineering. Yes, they're always needed. But with civil engineering, environmental engineering, water resources engineering, a lot of that work is good for government work. But when you're out here doing skilled trades, it's good for all types of work. A marine technician. Now, if you don't know what a marine technician does, they're the ones who actually fix all your marine equipment, boats. So if you get into this profession, you're going to be doing some boat rigging. You may operate a B&A crane while you're on a big ship, and what you're going to be doing is lowering small boats into the water. You're going to be working on watercraft. You're going to be handling boat engines. You're going to be handling propellers. Now, I'll tell you where this major definitely, if you're in engineering, mechanical engineers, this is where you could be an asset to marine technicians. In fact, let me tell you something. If you are a technician in the marine industry, you really want to be a good engineer. I'm talking about taking your blue collar job and actually going into a white collar job. Learn everything you need to know about the piece of equipment that you're working on, and then you will actually be much better than a regular engineer because you already have the experience. You know how it works. An engineer, for the most part, yes, they go through the heavy dose of mathematics, but it's basically theory. You can conceptualize how to rig a boat, how to design a boat. You can do the same thing for a car, a diesel engine, AC equipment, because you understand what it takes and what all these fields, because this is basically for individuals who are mechanically inclined, just like your CNC machinists, computer numerical control. Basically, you're trying to craft different components and performance parts out of raw materials. You see a lot of this in manufacturing industries. Now, for the most part, let me say this. With all these professions that I just mentioned, they're all under the mechanical area. Now, I know I should be talking about this and my mind is STEM, but I'm just putting this out here under the Manosphere meeting being productive. But we have to network and get men into trades. Trades are very important. You don't have to listen to the naysayers who are white collar in the corporate industry, because your job is always going to be here. In fact, you can pay a foreigner to come in here and do a white collar job for less. And that's what's happening. If you're a plumber, if you're an HVAC technician, if you're a diesel mechanic, and if you learn everything that you need to know, guess what? Overall, you can actually go into a white collar profession. You just have to learn the theory. Because if you go into, and I'm talking about engineering now, there are three areas in engineering. They have the engineer, which does the research and the actual design. There is the technologist. They'll get a degree in engineering technology. They'll be the ones that are going to implement the design. Then you get the technician. The technician is the one that actually repairs, maintains. They're actually the ones who are doing the testing. But when you fuse an engineering technician, an engineering technologist, and an engineer together, these trades become very respectable, because all these trades that I just named are under mechanical. Now, again, if you can't get into UTI, because that was the source that I've used, Universal Technical Institute, that's just like a Lincoln Tech. I know I live here in Indiana, right off of 71st Street. There's Lincoln Tech. I know in Columbia, Maryland, there's Lincoln Tech. But overall, what I want brothers to do is to get into trades. Not everybody is fit for college. Not everybody is fit for the corporate world. And what I've just given you is an overview of some of the areas that you can go into and you can make a lot of money. Again, getting into a trade, of course, everything has pros and cons. But when you get into a regular trade, you're going to be the problem solver. You're going to be the one that understands how the product works. You'll know how to diagnose a problem better than somebody who has not even seen the likes of a diesel engine. They may be able to design it, but you can find out if their design works. And then you can actually eliminate the ones who designed it by learning how an engine works, testing it yourself, and then you go and design it yourself. That's how I learned how to become a civil engineer. I got myself experience by doing the technical positions like surveying, materials testing, construction inspection. I worked out in the field first, learning computer-aided drafting, and then I went and got my degree in civil engineering. Now, I was a lot different than somebody coming fresh out of college, because unless you take advantage of some internships are going to give you that experience, but they're not going to give you enough experience. You'll get an overview. But when you actually go out to an apprenticeship, unions have them, you become a journeyman, become a master mechanic, however the name is described. If you stay with it, you're going to have a lucrative career. Again, I do not sleep on the trades. In fact, I also have a 2-year degree in HVAC. I'm taking the 608, the 609. So I understand what a chiller is. I understand what a boiler is and what it does. You can do the same thing, but it's got to be something you want to do, and you have to stay dedicated to it. Because in the end, it takes every type of skill to make this country work. So at the end of the day, you don't have to have a college degree, and you don't have to be white collar. All you have to do is be productive in order to grow as a man. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want some more education, check out my other channel, the Mind of STEM channel. On that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you cannot find me on YouTube, check me out. My Mind of STEM videos will be on Twitter and LinkedIn. The 401 Talk Zone radio show will be on Twitter, MeWe, and Parler. And when it comes to my live streams, I'm only going to do 4 live streams a month. I'm going to get back into doing content. I believe in doing content because pre-recorded videos allow your audience to see who you really are. There are a number of individuals who do panels all day and they don't really have talent. But doing pre-recorded videos requires you to do a lot more research. In fact, it's much easier to control when you're doing pre-recorded content because you don't have to deal with individuals just gossiping, over talking one another, yelling and screaming at one another. You are bringing your information out based on what you researched. So pre-recorded videos are shorter and they can be seen over and over and over again. And, you know, at the end of the day, the Manosphere Meetup in Atlanta was productive, but there's some areas that I wish we had gone in. And the skilled trades and some of the STEM fields would have been great, but we'll get down there for the next one. At the end of the day, I want to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals out there who believe that when something is said truth-wise, it might not be about you. So I'm going to say this. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. Once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.